What is up, everyone? I'm Jeff Lund, and this is the Mediocre Alaskan Podcast. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there who's a mother. Happy Sunday to everybody else. Went out in the boat this morning, set some shrimp pots. Wanted to get out there before the wind picked up because I figured killing the engine and drifting while I am feeding out 400 feet of line, that the less wind, the better. But there was wind, and I am all over the place. So who knows where I ended up setting? Who knows if there's any shrimp around there? I just hope I get my pots back. But it's the way it goes. Talked to my buddy Matt Hamilton for this episode. It's the second time I've had him on. Talked about art, talked about being local and kind of the tourism thing. Great episode, man. The guy is an inspiration. He's got a ton of great stuff in here about living around here in Ketchikan and how to cope with tourists. And being a good guest himself and a good tour guide to those who are willing to listen. So that's coming up. Make sure you check out the MediocreAlaskan.com, and here we go with Matt.
So, tourism season is among us.
Yep.
Obviously, there's some goods and some bads of it. Ketchikan's dependent upon the revenue. We gotta have it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we have to like everything about it. So what's kind of the best part and the worst part about summer tourism season, Ketchikan?
Well, we know the places to avoid. I think it takes a couple days to get acclimated. It's like, when it's a new year and you keep writing that damn check the wrong way.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm in the tunnel again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm on this end of town.
Yeah.
I'm not going the way I want to go. And then you're committed to it. And then you're like, oh yeah, and the construction. It's been really interesting to drive by and see the people like taking pictures in front of the construction of the Welcome to Ketchikan sign.
Oh.
And I was like, that's the most accurate representation of like our town right there. It was like, how old's our town? 17 years old or something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like under construction for 125 years.
Yeah. It's some days I don't mind it. I like kind of going down there, and if I have just absolute time to kill, it's a nice day. I don't mind kind of walking there amongst them and just seeing. And sometimes people ask ridiculous questions. Sometimes I don't mind it, because at least that person knows that I don't know something, and so they're at least willing to ask about it. Hey, what about this? And you can correct them. The people who just kind of walk around and are unimpressed by it, I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing here? But
somebody brought him on that cruise. Christy and I got a chance to get on the Disney cruise ship last year. We had some friends that work on there, and they're musicians, and so they're like, hey, do you want to go? I'm like, yeah, we do. Like, I've never been on a cruise ship for one, but especially Disney, and I was like, so we took my daughter on it, so it was like taking her to this little mini Disneyland for the day, and they're like, yeah, just do whatever you want. And we're just like, went to the pool. We tried every food in the cafeteria, which was the size of like the K-High Gymnasium, and it was just every part of the world you can go to and check out this food. And I was trying to encourage my daughter to this is the one opportunity where you can sample the world like right now. It's not gonna be the best, but it's gonna be a sample of what you can go out there. And so she had corn dogs, and
nice.
She had corn dogs and shrimp, popcorn shrimp.
Okay.
And that was pretty good for her. And she had a ginger ale. So
Nice.
yeah, it was nice. It was kind of crazy to kind of see that part of it and see all the people that didn't get off the cruise ship. That was weird to me. I'm like, we're gonna have free reign of this show. Oh God, where are all these people coming from? And they were just on the cruise ship, not even looking.
Was it rainy or something?
No, it was beautiful. It was so nice. It was a beautiful day, and we, the place, there were so many people on board that we still had to wait in line to get on like the slides to like
Really?
go down the big water slides and stuff, and I was like, oh man, and I'm looking at it, and I'm just like, and these weren't like old people. These were people that really needed to kind of maybe see a part of the world, like outside of their phone. But it was an amazing experience for me, and it was weird because I was vacationing in their vacation.
Yeah.
And it was great, and it was really neat to kind of see everybody in their natural habitat, just kind of like ignoring the world.
Well, they usually have like a day at sea, and then you have the time between ports.
Yep.
A lot of times overnight,
Yep.
but you would think that there'd be at least some sort of curiosity that would get them off the boat. You don't have to do an excursion, but at least like sample a little bit of what's going on in Ketchikan.
You know, one thing that was kind of weird too was they had a little like a little covered area that was like gazebo, and inside that gazebo was a chunk of glacier. Like, I'm like, how did you guys get that? Like, there was a chunk of glacier like on the deck of the boat. I was like, somebody's job on this boat is to get that.
Yeah.
I was like, they aren't making it.
Huh.
I thought that was kind of weird.
Huh. If it was coming from the south, then I could see maybe when they're in Glacier Bay or what's that place just south of Juneau? It's not Taku. River
Yeah,
or something like that.
and they were
Something
they
like
were coming from down that way, but it was still weird to think that like, hey, do you want to touch the glacier? Like, are we getting off the boat? And they're like, no, Rodrigo's gonna grab it for us.
And
Like,
they
bring it on
say
up.
glacier because technically it's like one of those. It falls off the glacier, becomes an iceberg,
Yeah,
but it's not as cool to call it an iceberg.
yeah.
Might even be like trigger some people.
Dude,
iceberg
it
on the boat.
might be retribution for Titanic.
Yeah,
And they're like,
exactly.
we're
So
taking it
we-
back.
yeah, do not say-
Like, we're gonna own this word now.
Wow.
So,
That's interesting.
yeah, my daughter, she's like, what is this? What is this on here? Why is this on here? I'm like, oh man. So like, I took pictures of it. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is weird.
Huh.
Like, they're,
Look at the ice here.
yeah, it's just melting everywhere.
Huh.
But yeah, and I started thinking about how many people just put their hands on it and stuff.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like,
just-
it's just like, oh
We got to do this, and that might be the highlight of the trip too. Like,
yeah.
yeah, forget about Juneau, forget about Chilkoot Pass and Skagway, the glacier.
Yeah.
So what's the best part of Ketchikan? And like, what would you say if someone's going to get off? You're going to tell someone who's in there enamored with the frozen water.
I was talking to somebody about it today. It was when I travel, I always use this phrase. I don't know. It's my little thing that I fall back on when I want to see local stuff. And it's if you had one night left. If you had one night left, what am I gonna go eat?
Mm-hmm.
What am I gonna go drink? And who do I need to go talk to
Yeah.
before I leave the rock?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so I've always thought about that as my thing, and travel in Ireland and all that stuff has brought me to such amazing places and met so many great people. And for Ketchikan, I got asked that when I was down on the Red Bridge one day. It was these three dudes that were just having a blast watching people catch the fish off of
Yeah.
there, and they go, hey, what would you do if you had one night left in Ketchikan? And I was like, I called my boss because I was on my lunch break, and this was a few years ago, and I go, I'm taking the day off.
Oh,
And I
nice.
took these people
Nice.
everywhere. Like,
Nice.
it was amazing. I took them out to Herring Cove,
Yeah.
and it was the craziest low tide that we'd ever had, and the salmon were like stuck upriver. And as we go down there, I had my snagging stuff because I'd been out there the day before, and I was like, oh, just follow me, guys. It'll be kind of cool. And I get down there and I realize that I could literally walk up and just snag now, like in the part where the mouth kind of comes out. We were just sitting there, and I snagged 4 kings right in a row, and I drug them up on the beach, and I took my belt off, and ran them through the gills, and was walking up, and I'll walk the creek in the water so I don't have to pack the fish.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so
Drag it.
I'll just drag it through the creek, and so I don't have to pack it. And as we're going up there, this bear comes walking towards us, and I'm just like, oh man, the guys are like freaking out. They're like, ah, and I was like, don't worry about it, guys. And I grab the salmon, and I twist its head off, and grab this king and twist its head off from the gills, and I throw the head at the bear. And it takes off up into the woods, and I'm like, this is the most bizarre day I've ever had,
at all.
and I was like, this is rad. And these guys are like,
Oh,
this
man.
is amazing, and
So great.
so I go take them to the Arctic Bar after that, and they're telling everybody they can. They're just like walking through the door what happened. But when we walk in, my Aunt Paula is like, Matt, drinks for you guys, okay? And these guys are like, this is amazing, it's so good. And So we sit there and BS, and I order a halibut burger, sauteed mushrooms and onions from Burger Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And so it arrives over there, and we're like a pitcher of beer in, and we're just having a blast, and swapping stories and all this, and they're just like, this is the coolest place ever. Like this is so great, and all three of those guys stay in contact with me.
Nice.
Like and they message me every once in a while. Like when we had the earthquake up north.
Oh yeah.
First thing I got was these text messages from these dudes just going like, Matt, you okay?
Yeah.
And
Nice.
it was just beautiful, man. Like
Yeah.
these people were checking in on me, and it made me feel really honored that like they adopted me and they became responsible for me for that brief moment. Even though I know one of the guys' names. Usually, it kind of comes up in my text messages. The other guys, so I'm just like, hey, what's up, man? But yeah, so definitely I'd go to the back deck of the Arctic, watch the sun go down. If that was my last night, and I didn't have a family and stuff, and I was 24-year-old me would be sitting on the back deck watching the sun go down, eating a halibut burger, enjoying life, and probably jump off the back deck is one final thing after I take a shot.
And before they put the new dock in there a couple of years ago, like when it was just open, it was even better. But
it's crazy, man.
I think that mindset is so important to not just like show up to wherever you're at and say, all right, town, entertain me. The town is just the town. The people are just the people. If you have a bad attitude, nothing is ever going to surprise you or make you excited. You have to go out of your way to just kind of let it happen and be open to different experiences and have a good frame of mind. So what are some things that you think makes a good guest or visitor?
Last Saturday they had Adam Sandler on Saturday Night Live, and he played one of those like travel agents you see on TV late night, and it was like, welcome to Italy, enjoy pasta, kayaking in the river. And my favorite thing about it is he goes and he's like, if you're an angry person, you may be angry on this trip. Like you might drag that over with you. And I see that all the time with people just like being upset that they have to wait in a line or be in weather, or not see mountain goats because it's too foggy. Like working at Pacific Airways, I saw so many dissatisfied tourists on a rainy day when they don't see something, or when they go on a bear tour for TAC 1 and they don't see a bear that day. But on the way out they saw whales, they saw mountain goats, they saw all these things, and you're like, man, I'm like, I know that you paid to see a bear, I'm sorry, but like, we can't on cue bring them up.
It's not the drive-through zoo. If you drive through, I was in Yosemite or Yellowstone 2 summers ago, and you just drive. This is like a drive-through zoo, and you're gonna see buffalo, and you're gonna see all the big ticket items. You probably won't see a grizzly bear, but you get to see that stuff easily from your car. It's wild up here. It's not all hemmed in with roads and with anything, and different experience. Like it's wild, and you should be kind of happy that it is like that. So appreciate that rather than here's a picture of grainy photo on my phone of a bear.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. to get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
I always wonder about those people that had the razors, the Samsung razors a few years ago, all those tourists that I saw taking pictures back then. They're we should probably go back to Alaska.
Yeah,
the iPhone 10 is killing it.
Our proof is no longer there.
I probably went off topic. What was the question on that one? I'm sorry.
Right attitude, be a good guest.
Oh yeah.
So I think you someone hit it there. But are there any other specific things
I think
that you keep in mind when you travel? So you're not that entitled.
Participate, just participate in your surroundings, and notice the people that are locals that are noticing other people. Those are the ones that I'm a people watcher. I wasn't that great in school, but I learned how to avoid situations because I wasn't great in school. So it was just okay, how do I get out of this situation by being funny or whatever? So I was always kind of paying attention to what people's humor was.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to get out of this situation, it was kind of like the ninja vanish smoke bomb.
Yeah.
But it was more of me just going to the principal's office, or getting somebody else sent to the principal's office for that reason. But watching that over the years, I've noticed that when you see somebody walk in, that even locals are oh, what's up, man? How's it going? That's the person I want to be friends with. That's the person I want to talk to. Every time I'm going out to go have drinks with anybody, I try to go out of my way to meet somebody that I wouldn't normally talk to, and it's just to test the waters out there. And one, every once in a while you'll get stuck in one of those situations where it's if there's lots of people, that's my safe bet. That's when I go for it. But if there's 5 people in the room, I might not go out of that comfort zone because you might just have that, when somebody waterboards your ears, with just well, then Ricky didn't get on the basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just hey, man, that's rough. That sucks. What's your struggle? That's your struggle.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you if that's your struggle. That's what your kid's dealing with right now. And I think I get jaded in the job that I'm in, working at Community Connections. You start seeing a lot of people that are struggling in real life, and when they go out to have fun, it is very bare bones, minimalist fun, and it looks like the best fun to have.
Yeah.
When I was in college, poor fun was some of the funnest fun I've ever had.
Yeah.
The miserable fun.
Yeah, it's real. It's authentic. It's not.
Yeah.
You're not sitting around. I tell the kids before they go off to college, it's not the college's responsibility to be fun for you.
Yep.
It's going to be your attitude. So if you, the type of person who's going to have a lot of fun in college is the type of person where it doesn't matter what college they went to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to be worried about, well, did I make the wrong choice or not? They're there. Be present in the moment, and have fun. And it's if
you're not a problem
treat that.
solver and you're not I wouldn't even say interesting. I would say more if you're a MacGyver of a situation. If you look at something I gotta have fun here, and I got a pixie stick and a rubber band, how can I make this happen?
Yeah.
And anybody that's probably listening to this that's never seen MacGyver, yeah, just look it up, Google that.
Yeah.
Shit. But yeah, that's I always believe in being a MacGyver of the situation, and it's not anybody else's job to have fun. It's my job to be the one that brings the party to me and my friends, and I love it when I can show up someplace and I don't have to do that. That's always good. But that's why my closest friends are the most crazy lunatics when it comes to just talking. When you talk, and they can just take you to another place where you're just laughing your head off, can't catch your breath. So
had a couple of buddies that came up, and we were fishing up at Whale Pass, doing the coho snagging over there, and it was fun. And it was kind of in the tide change, and so we were kind of waiting for the fish to go out, or the tide to go out, so we revealed the fish. And they just sat down there, and I was like, "You guys good?" They were just happy to just sit. Man, I'm in Alaska. Of course, it's great. You didn't have to. They They weren't worried about getting all of their fish to take pictures and show their wives and their kids. It was just they were content sitting on the beach, quiet, just looking at the eagles. And when you're self-sufficient like that, man, it's just great. It's so much fun, and that's one of the things I love about living here is everything is so close. I keep looking out the window, you're just looking at, there's a road between you and the ocean, but then it's, you can look beyond it. It's that simple pleasure of look at the trees, look at the ocean.
And finding ways to entertain yourself between the ocean and here. There's a million things that you can do between that. Maybe, is that a football field, do you think? Football field, maybe?
Something like that. Like, comparable.
At low tide, definitely. But when I think about it, it's just insane that we have all this space and we're bored a lot of the times. And the hard part is I'm just as guilty as any kid right now of being locked into my phone and looking up stuff and trying to separate my business and the pleasure of being on social media is really hard because I live a lot of my business on social media, and that's the way I drum up business and get people excited about doing fun things and being active and going out there. But a lot of people don't see the benefit of being on Instagram or Facebook, and there's somebody out there gonna hike a mountain tomorrow that isn't doing it because it's healthy. It's because it's gonna make a damn fine like cover page for their Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And I applaud them. Like, good for you. Get that done. And somebody's out there getting a nice big fish because of that, and that's great too.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
But I think participating is the biggest thing that we can possibly do wherever we're going, and getting involved. And I think if you get lost a little bit, that's one of the best things you can do.
Yeah.
Especially if you buy locals drinks. If you buy locals drinks,
like the real locals, not the people who are working here for the summer.
Yeah. If you can find those people, that have spent a majority. I've been thinking about this idea for my artwork where I want to make these badges, like Boy Scout badges. And it's gonna be, you can punch your Alaska card.
Nice.
And so it's just like, swim in the ocean, and swim in the ocean, hike this mountain, catch this fish, all those things. You mark all those things off, and a part of that would be help your elders, give back to the kids in your community, all that stuff, because that's what I believe that we're about. Is like we're not leaving anybody stranded high and dry. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that have lived here a lot of years that haven't participated in our community, that nobody really pays attention to those people. And the day that those people pass on, we know that the real locals aren't going to be showing up to their funeral and taking care of their families. Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. And so I was thinking about making that little punch your Alaska card out here. Yeah. And I thought it'd be funny if you sell the badges for $25 a piece, but if you take a picture of wherever one of those badges, wherever you're at, I jumped in the ocean, so you got a picture of that, you bring it into Pacific Pride or something, and it's only a $3. It's only a $3 badge, or you can buy it for $25 and lie to your friends.
Yeah. Well, going back to the community thing, I think that's really important, being an active part of it. And as an artist who's gotten a lot of traction with the art, you're not the type of person who just creates a product, send it out there, go buy it, and you do as much Catch a Can promoting, if not more, Catch a Can community promoting than you do for yourself. How important do you think it is to be an active member of the community rather than just a taker of it by owning a business?
I think I do everything ass backwards, and my biggest thing is I really don't care about money. But I do care about how my family's treated, how I'm being treated. I try to treat people the way I'd like to be treated. Sometimes it's rough, but I appreciate it. And if somebody can change my mind about a situation that I'm in or around, that's really important to me. And I think there's a social equity. There's this thing that my grandpa used to, when he'd chop wood and stuff, it was he'd look at the wall of wood that he had chopped for the day. He's like, I'm wood rich. Like, and that was one of those things, like when my water tank is full, I'm water rich.
Oh, which has been huge
Like,
last year.
I'm
big
water
time.
rich. Get on it, yeah. Like, I'm doing the rain dance, feeling good about it, and but I feel that way about our community. Like I just put this huge investment into our community by helping a group that can't or might not be able to fend for themselves right now. If I can just help them out for a brief moment and give them a glimmer of hope that's all gonna, I'm not counting on it coming back, but I know that's gonna echo somewhere. It's gonna go out into the world, and it might not benefit me, but it's gonna benefit somebody else. And I'm okay with that. There's been a lot of times where I haven't been repaid for all the things that I've done for other people. My grandpa was a person that if somebody was pulled over on the side of the road, he would stop and he would just say, just stay here, I'll be right back. And he would go to the back of his little S10 pickup truck and grab a little can of gasoline and go give it to these people. You know, they'd fill up the gas tank. We'd get back in the truck and we'd turn around and go back to Warco Market, and he'd fill that gas tank, little gas can up. It was something he believed in. And it just always blew me away. And, you know, I pull over on the side of the road the other day because there was somebody, you know, pulled over after I worked out. It was late at night, and they had a jack that was not working out well, and I just happened to have one, and we were able to, you know, get them back on the road really quick, and they actually didn't have there was no air in the tire either that we put on.
Oh, jeez.
So I happen to have a pump too.
Nice.
But, you know, I was lucky to have that kind of stuff, but it was nice to be able to help those people. And it's, you know, it's the most, I want to say it's I feel like it's a lot for me. It makes me feel so good that it feels narcissistic sometimes. That, like, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna feel so good after helping these people. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not in hopes of getting paid or anything like that, but like it'll echo somewhere else in the world, and I'm really hoping for that. And if I can, you know, preach that and live by it, and hopefully somebody will, you know, take it to heart and make it work. But yeah, I love being able to help people. Because the way it makes me feel, and it sounds narcissistic when I say it out loud.
Well, I think there's a difference between there's that you, because it's the right thing to do and you feel good about it, versus that cartoon that's circulated. That's the person holding the selfie stick taking a picture of them being generous, which I think is way different. If you're posting of the nice things because you want that attention from it, which is different than the good feeling you feel. No one else knows about it except for that person you impacted, and then, you know, what you did. So,
well, you know, there's when I was a kid, I remember people doing nice things and not really understanding why, and just going like, man, that was crazy. That was awesome. That my grandpa just stopped and helped them. Like, they would have been stranded. That would have been horrible. But I also hadn't been in the situation where I was a grown adult without a spare tire or no gas, and having the embarrassment of like, oh man, now I gotta walk all the way back to this gas station, and this person just comes out of the blue and saves you that little bit of just like, oh man, I don't have any money, but thank you. I'm gonna be able to go home and get to work in the morning. Thank you so much. Like that right there, like that is more than you could ever ask for. And that was before social media, so that was his thing, and it made me so happy to be able to see those situations play out like that. And the cool thing with social media, though, is, you know, the person with the selfie stick there saying, pat me on the back, I get like offended when I try to help somebody, and I try to not really keep it quiet, but like I'm just like, just do it. And then like somebody on Facebook, like on Facebook, and they're like, hey, thank you so much, my friend. I'm like, God, man. Like, not only will that it doesn't bug me and like, oh, you're such a dick, but it's one of those things that I just like, I'm like, man, I was just trying to do something nice. I feel guilty for it being on there sometimes.
Like you said, if it's not out there in the world, then if people think that this is just the way you treat people, and unless they are exposed to, whoa, you can go out of your way to be kind to someone else, whereas in my circle of friends, people, family, I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
If you do happen to see it some other way, then you can think, oh, well, you know what, that's the thing. That's what we do here in Ketchikan. And I think a lot of people do that because it's the culture. Like the school culture at K-High is amazing.
Yeah.
Like kids managing each other say, you know what, we don't do that here. I talked to a couple of 8th graders who were being chatterheads, or, you know, it's a clean school. It's just part of the culture to do that. And you do that by, you know, just exposing this is what we do, this is what we don't do, and it's a big deal. So even as adults, you know, you got to be exposed to that in some regard.
Yeah, I mean, policing one another is one of the biggest things, and praising one another is just as equal as policing.
Yeah.
You know, praising and keeping people honest through positivity is huge.
I think praising the good as this is what we do rather than just this is what we don't. It's like that there's a don't. You know, sometimes people call people out for the sake of calling people out, and it's I'll just tell it like it is. Well, is that your excuse for being a jerk? Or you know, like how what other ways can you do that to say, you know what, I'm a flawed person too. Yeah. But I'm just not sure that was the right thing to do. When
somebody says, I'm just playing devil's advocate, I was like, no, you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Like
don't get offended by it.
Don't get offended, but this is what I think. And I go, before you say that comment, you are not even thinking about a solution. Like, hear me out. Like, don't cut me off, because I have actually, I'm gonna critique you, but I have an idea. I love those people. Those people make me feel good. The people that just shoot you down, you know, make you feel horrible, and they don't have an answer for you to fix anything. Like I've had it multiple times where I've been someplace where the perfect example, I was at the New York Cafe one time, and the food wasn't right, and I was just like, oh my God, I love these people. And like, if I was at Starbucks and they made my coffee wrong, I just walk out and throw it in the trash and be done, and like just like go back to my car. Okay. But I love those people. And I consider them to be good people, and I was afraid that maybe something was a mistake. Something was a mistake in there. This doesn't feel right. There's way too much of this one ingredient, or not enough of one ingredient. And so I was like, hey guys, I think there might be something missing. I was like, I want you to taste it and just try it out. Like, I will buy a whole nother meal if I'm wrong. I'm really sorry. Like, and they're just like, okay, Matt, no problem. Like, and they take it in the back, and then they're just like, yeah, there's something wrong. Like, and it was along the lines of there was like a different vinegar that they were grabbing to like put in the like whatever salad or whatever, and I don't know if it was white vinegar or red vinegar, I can't remember. They got just got mixed up, and it was that simple, and it was fixed. And I thought about it, and I was like, how many people could have walked in that day and not come back because that was their first day? And it always bums me out when somebody doesn't like interject and try to help me and when I'm struggling or feeling bad. And
depends on who it comes from too. Like, you've earned that credibility to where if Matt's gonna make the comment here, he's not doing that because he's the person who's gonna complain about everything. They're gonna take that seriously. If you're the person who just goes out of their way to find the flaws in everybody else, then people are just tired of you for saying that. But if you've earned that credibility and that you're a person of integrity, then they're gonna listen. It's better.
Like what's the online review thing that everybody does?
Yelp.
Yeah, Yelp. Like Yelp. I'm like, whoever is crushing it on Yelp, like just crushing it, it's such a sad life, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
comments.
Like, unless it's some mom and pop place and you're just pumping it up, like, get your ass here. Yeah. You are screwing your life up if you don't get in here, have this bagel dog with a Rainier. You're screwing your life up. Like, I think about those situations where I was like, we could use that for the greater good. And kind of circling back to the part where we're talking about helping situations out. You know, I don't like it when somebody's like just I'm not trying to get praise for something and they give me overpraise. for something. I'm like, nah, don't stop, just stop.
Silliness, yeah.
Just like it's all good. Don't worry about it. But if I see somebody that is completely deserving of it, and I see it that they have their head down, that's their life, and that they're living that. It's not that I'm only praising it, but I'm like I celebrate those people as a collection. Like I might not call them out by name, but I will say today I saw one of the most wonderful things. I saw somebody get picked up from a situation that this one person just picked up on it, and I didn't see it, and it made me so happy to see that in the world, and kind of do that in hopes that goes out there, and that might not be the praise for that one single person, but they're gonna know it when they see it online, and I care about them enough that not to blow up their Facebook or Instagram and be like, "You're rad, dude,
Yeah.
keep it up," like. But enough people will ask me in person, just like, "Who was that?" And I'll tell them, and it means so much to be able to be a cheerleader, be a cheerleader for somebody else that's just like fighting along the same lines as like what you're looking for. Is like I just want people to feel helped and helpful, and they can make a small change, whether it be buying somebody's coffee, packing groceries, or whatever like that. But we have the traditional sense of the old like 1920s or 1930s. There was a guy that was actually down by the New York Cafe one time that just stopped me. He's like, "You local?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Is it like this all the time?" And I was like, "Raining?" He was like, "No." He was like, "What America was."
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah." Like, and that's what I look at it. And I was like, everything that we believe that we could really possibly be, I'm gonna help the person next to me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. That was it, man. I really believe that we still can be those people. I think we're evolving, but I think that being kind is going to be the new smart here in the future. There's a great book that's I can't remember the name of it now. It might even be called that. But it was just talking about how technology is becoming our dictionary. It's becoming the thesaurus. It's becoming our calculator. And it's becoming so automated that we just say, "Hey, what's the weather gonna be like tomorrow, Siri?" Like, and it just happens. We don't need to know things, but if we don't know how to feel things, then we're gonna be in big trouble, because we're gonna have a lot of definitives, like, and we're not gonna have the emotions that follow up with it. And we're gonna be a brutal civilization again. So I think it's really important that we bring kindness back in the right ways.
That's good.
So.
That's a great ender, man. Where can people get your stuff? Where can they order? What are the summer plans with people you have coming up? Give your pitch for the art and the stuff that you have running this summer.
Pacific Pride has a new website that's going to launch this week, hopefully, and they're going to be selling all my gear, the wholesale, big orders to big companies and stuff. And they did like a big photo shoot. They did a big write up. They did a whole bunch of great stuff for it. And, so you'll be able to make big orders for companies. If you just contact me on Instagram or Facebook or through my website, I can get you other stuff. And my Etsy, Creative Hustler, Matt Hamilton, Ketchikan, Alaska. That's all my kind of specialty, like one-offs, like coming out of like, if you see something on Instagram, most likely if I get enough people bugging me, I'll have it on there the next day to make it work. For concerts, right now I have lined up, there's this awesome musician called Jackie. Her name's Jackie Vincent, and she's amazing. She's Austin's Musician of the Year, Austin's Guitarist of the Year, and she plays with a loop pedal and it's electric guitar, and she plays blues and she plays rock and all this stuff, and she went up she was up at the Southeast State Fair that we have, which is like in Haines, I think, and they didn't know who she was, and they put her on in the afternoon, and people were like running to listen to her because she was just rocking the house by herself up on stage and just killing it. and they're like, you got to come back next year. So they paid, like, she was just happened to be in town, and was like, oh yeah, I'll play, and made it work. But they paid for her, like, her way up this time, and they're like, gave her, you know, they're paying her good now, and all that. And she messaged me because she knows a friend of a friend, and it was just like, hey, I want to play in Ketchikan. Let's make it happen. So she'll be in town at the end of the summer. I haven't said the official date yet, but those tickets will be on creativehustlercompany.com. Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's about it, and yeah, I got a whole bunch of weird stuff coming out. I'm gonna be doing some big murals. That's kind of out of my realm of doing a lot of big stuff now. So that's part of my kind of giving back to my community too. Is like being able to show something to look forward to on your drive, whether it be Hattie down there at the skate park. That's up on the wall. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And the KPU, not the KPU one, but it's the lineman, the one that I had up for a brief moment, and then somebody bought the building that it was on, and so I had to take it down. So I got to find another building, which that should be up here the next week or so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.